Hello, hello! It's Mrs. Marcellus and Einswein. We're still here at Mega Adventure Fun World enjoying our fabulous fun-filled fraction adventure. Now that we've become experts at multiplying fractions and using cross-cancellation, we're going to use those skills in today's lesson on converting measurement units. Today's learning objective is, students will convert among measurements in the customary measurement system by utilizing unit ratios and dimensional analysis. What's that, Einswein? You're not sure what customary measurement system is? Well, the customary measurement system is a system of measurement that we use here in the United States, and it involves units such as cups and quarts and gallons and pints and feet and yards and inches and miles and tons and ounces and pounds, etc., etc. So we're learning how to convert measurements in the measurement system that we use on a daily basis. Today's vocabulary: a unit ratio. This is very similar to a unit rate. It's a ratio in which the denominator is 1. For example, there are 3 feet in 1 yard and 4 quarts in 1 gallon. We're going to use unit ratios to complete our conversions. Our second vocabulary word is dimensional analysis. Ooh, sounds fancy, doesn't it, Einswein? Dimensional analysis means that you can include units of measurement as factors when you compute. In other words, you are able to cross-cancel the units. This will be really helpful to us today because we'll use the units to help us set up the problems. Then we're able to cross-cancel those units just like we did numbers in the multiplication problems we've previously completed. So what do you think, Einswein? Are you ready to try a few? Okay then, here we go! In our first problem, we'll convert 20 feet to inches. We're going to use multiplication of fractions to solve. We'll start with the value we are given, which is 20 feet, and write that as a fraction with a label. So I'll write 20 feet, and since it's a whole number, I'm just going to put that over 1. I then need to multiply that by a conversion factor. We know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. But I have to figure out which one will be the numerator and which one will be the denominator. I'm going to use that whole idea of dimensional analysis, or the ability to cross-cancel units, to help set up the problem. I'm starting with feet in my numerator, and I know that when I cross-cancel, I need both a numerator and a denominator. In order to cancel out the feet and be left with just inches, that means the feet will have to go in the denominator. Now I am able to cross-cancel those labels and end up with my new label of inches. Feet and feet become 1 and 1 and go away. The next thing I need to do is plug in the numbers from my conversion unit. There are 12 inches in 1 foot. Now I solve the multiplication problem. I have 20 times 12, which equals 240. And 1 times 1, which equals 1. When I simplify, I'm left with the answer that 20 feet equals 240 inches. In this problem, we'll convert 15 quarts to gallons. I start with the original information that I'm given, which is I have 15 quarts. I will write that as a fraction, and in this case I'll put it over 1. Then I need to multiply by a conversion factor that will get me from quarts to gallons. I'll put the quart label on the bottom because I want to cross-cancel those and get rid of it, and I'll put the new label of gallons in the numerator. Then I have to figure out what my conversion rate is. There are 4 quarts in 1 gallon, so I'll plug those numbers in. I can cross-cancel the quarts, and I'm left with the label of gallon. Then I go ahead and solve the multiplication problem, which gives me 15 over 4. Then I need to convert that to a mixed number. 4 goes into 15 3 times, and there are 3/4 left over. 15 quarts equals 3 3/4 gallons. In this problem, we'll convert 100 ounces to pounds. We'll start by writing the given information, 100 ounces, as a fraction. Then we need to multiply that by a conversion factor between ounces and pounds. There are 16 ounces in 1 pound. Since we are starting with the label of ounces, the ounces will have to go in the denominator, and the new label of pounds will have to be the numerator. Next, we can cross-cancel our label of ounces, and we're left to do our multiplication problem. We can also cross-cancel 100 and 16 because both of them can be divided by 4. 100 divided by 4 is 25, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. Then we multiply straight across, and we get 25 over 4. We need to make that a mixed number. 4 goes into 25 6 times, and we are left with 1/4. 100 ounces equals 6 1/4 pounds. Let's try a word problem. Each passenger car on the Mega Adventure Fun World Park train weighs 2 3/4 tons. How many pounds does each passenger car weigh? We'll start with the given information of 2 3/4 tons. We'll have to convert that to an improper fraction. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 gives us 11, so we have 11 over 4, and we'll put the tons label with the numerator. Then we need to multiply by the conversion factor between tons and pounds. 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. Since we have tons in the numerator in our starting fraction, we'll put it in the denominator in our second fraction, and the 2,000 pounds will go on top. Next, we cross-cancel our labels of tons and tons, and then we'll go ahead and solve our multiplication problem. We look to see if we can cross-cancel, and fortunately we can. 4 divided by 4 equals 1, and 2,000 divided by 4 equals 500. We can then multiply 11 times 500, and that gives us 5,500, and our denominator is going to be 1. 2 3/4 tons equals 5,500 pounds. The final drop on the Thunder Falls log flume ride covers a distance of 1/8 mile. How many feet does the log travel? We'll start with our original fraction of 1/8 mile, and we'll put the mile label in the numerator. Then we need to multiply that by a conversion factor between miles and feet. 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. We'll put the feet on top and miles on the bottom in order to be able to cross-cancel the unit of miles. I'll cross that off using dimensional analysis, and then I can go ahead and solve the multiplication problem. I look for cross-cancellation, and lucky for me, 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 8 does go evenly into 5,280. It equals 660. I'll multiply straight across and get 660 over 1, which equals 660. The final drop on the Thunder Falls log flume ride covers a distance of 660 feet. And if we want to do a little bit more conversion, there are 3 feet in 1 yard, so this is equivalent to 220 yards, just a little bit longer than 2 football fields. Hey Einswine, what do you say that we take the train over to the other side of the park and check out that Thunder Falls log flume ride? It sure sounds like a lot of fun. And no, we're not stopping for any more cotton candy or funnel cakes. Okay? Okay. See you later, math students.